Alright, in this video I'm going to be installing a pocket door in what will hopefully become a bedroom at some point in time. I've been doing a lot of drywalling in the last couple of days, so that's why I've been a little bit slow on some of these videos, but I have reached the point where I think it's time to put in this pocket door, and I ended up getting one from Home Depot for about 180 Canadian, something like that, maybe it's $200, and it's the heavy duty one, so it's supposed to be able to hold 200 plus pounds for a door. I got a 32-inch door, so it's not going to be 200 pounds. It's maybe 100 pounds. I did get a solid core door instead of a hollow core door, but a hollow core door would be fine as well. Now, first thing I'm going to do here is draw a line on the floor, and that's because there's metal posts that come down and they act sort of like your 2x4 wall studs. So it says to use a chalk line instead of using a chalk line. I do have a pretty large level, so I'm going to use that. And really I'm just going edge to edge. So I can draw a straight line between the studs on one side and the studs on the other. And like I said, that's there to line up for where the metal studs are going to go. Now when making the opening for these doors, the instructions for this one indicated that you want to go double the width of the door plus 1 inch. So a 32-inch door, double it is 64, plus 1, 65 is the rough opening left to right. Now the sort of step one on this thing is to drive a nail into each side of the door frame. So it's going to go at 81.5 inches from the subfloor. And if it was a finished floor, it would be going in at 80 3/4 inch. Now, obviously, I'm going to drive this into the center of the door frame, and a 2x4 for interest's sake is 3.5 inches wide. So flathead nail, it did not come with these. These are just a couple that I had kicking around the house. And I'm not driving them in all the way because I'm going to put a hanger bracket on that as well. Now, I am using a 32-inch door. These things are adjustable. It is set up for a 36-inch door out of the box, but if you are going to use a shorter door, obviously you have to cut it down. There are marks on the pocket door hardware, and really just cut on those. I'm not cutting the metal track underneath. I'm just removing the wood. And there are 3 pieces of wood that need to be removed in order to successfully mount it up for a 32-inch door. Now the next stage is to cut the metal trackway. Obviously, as it sits right now, the track is longer than the wooden portion of this, and that's not what you want. You want the track to be recessed back by 1 3/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to mark that off. And then to cut it, I'm just using a handsaw. So I don't really have any special tools when I'm doing this, all pretty basic stuff. And I would say overall, this took me about 1 full day. I didn't do it in one shot. I did it over 2 days. But if you were going start to finish on this, I would allocate about a day. Now, there are 2 end brackets. These are going to mount the track into the door frame. Now, I do pre-drill most of the holes while doing this, just so I don't split things when I'm driving the screws in, and there are 3 screws. For this wall plate, it goes flush against the wood, and the wall plate on the other side is adjustable. So it has 2 forks, and those line up and go into the trackway. And then there's 1 cutout for a screw, which is an adjustable cutout. And that gives you about 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch for moving it back and forth to accommodate for the wall. My door frame is a little jacked up, so I gotta do a little extra work, but mounting the ends are pretty simple. And like I said, this one has an adjustable cutout for that screw, so I'm not gonna tighten this screw all the way down. I'm gonna leave it a little bit loose until I've got everything lined up. And just off camera, I did put the pocket door track up on those 2 nails. Nothing really special there. You just pick it up and drop it on top of those 2 nails. And you can see that I added a piece of plywood, and that's because this wall was a little bit off, because the wall that it's attached to was also off by a little bit. So like I said, I did need to put a piece of plywood up at the top just to make it 65 inches all the way around. And I did not notice any issues by having that little piece of plywood there. Now I do take a level to the track, make sure that the track is level, and then hammer the nails in on each side, and then add the appropriate number of screws to the plates on both sides. To mount the floor plates, they do need to be fastened to the floor, and in my case, obviously, it's going to go into concrete. So I do need a concrete drill bit, and I also need Tapcon screws. This is where those lines on the floor are important. And when you're lining things up, this is why you also need to have cut the wood for the trackway at the 32-inch mark, because the first set of metal studs butts directly up against the wooden cutoff. So once I've got it plumb, I take the concrete drill bit, drill a pilot hole in the floor, then take the shop vac, get all the dust out, and I add one Tapcon screw to the center of the floor plate and screw it into place. Once that's screwed into place, each of these metal studs can take 2 screws, that's it, and it just screws into the wooden portion of the pocket door trackway. So just like that. So like I said, it is important that you cut the board off at the 32-inch mark. Otherwise, if it was 36 inches, it would throw everything off. Now there are 2 clips that are for the soft close feature on the sliding door. And the first soft close actuator goes exactly 12 inches back from the metal stud that is touching the wood that was cut off. And they look like that. So they just have a Allen key screw and they slide along the trackway. And once you've got them into the correct place, in this case 12 inches back from the metal stud, you just screw them into place. And once the first soft close is done, I can start putting the rollers in place. And for the soft close, you do need to have it locked in place properly. It doesn't come like that, so you do need to take some actions, otherwise it won't work. And then just install the rest of the roller system. Overall, pretty easy, and you could obviously see the 2 mounting points that the door is going to connect to, one on each of the rollers. And that is where the second soft close feature goes, and it's 9 1/8 inch back from the wall plate. So like I said, I did get a solid core door for this, and these door clips go 2 3/4 inch back from the edge of the door. And you do need to orient them correctly. In this case, the pivot is towards the nearest edge of the door, and that goes for both sides of this thing. And once again, I am doing pilot holes with the drill first, and that's because these screws are pretty big, and the last thing I want to do is split a door. Doors are really expensive. In fact, the door was more expensive than the pocket door system, and these solid doors are now over $200. So that's in Canadian in my case, but it's still pretty expensive. So once again, pre-drill with the mounting plate 2 3/4 inch back from the edge of the door. And then just take the 2 screws and screw it into place. Now, buying a solid door is a bit of a pain. It is pretty difficult to get it up and into the mounting position by yourself. It would definitely be easier with a second person. But to get over that, what I ended up doing was taking a 2x4 and kicking a 2x4 underneath the door. And at some point in time during the shooting this video, I ended up going to Best Buy and getting some Bluetooth headphones so that I wasn't just working in the basement by myself. Overall, pretty good purchase. Like I said, I just took a small piece of 2x4, lifted up the door, and kicked the 2x4 up. And that brought the attachment points much closer together, so I didn't have to try and hold the door up while also working those attachment points. You definitely don't have very much room to work with this, so it is difficult to get your fingers in there to actually activate the little clips and make sure that the door is held properly. I personally found a screwdriver was a useful tool to reach in there. And then obviously testing out the door, everything seems to work good. The soft close feature works in both directions without any issues whatsoever. Now you can adjust the door to make sure it's level, or plumb in this case, but in my case, I don't think it's necessary. It does come with plastic guide clips, but I'm going to put those on later when I do probably another video on the hardware and final setup of the pocket door. For this one, I'm just going to do the rough-in installation. I think when I subfloor this thing though, I am going to have to take a saw and cut off about 1/2 inch from the bottom of the door just to get clearance for the actual finished floor, but that's not a big deal. Cutting off a 1/2 inch is pretty easy to do. And you do get a little wrench, so you can adjust the height of the door just by tightening or loosening the 2 nuts at the connection points for the door. Now overall, I think the door actually works really well. I'm going to have to get the hardware and all that stuff, as well as paint the door. But the next step is going to be doing drywall, and then I'm going to move on to flooring. And like I said, I am going to have to cut the door. So I'm going to have another pocket door video. I just wanted to make this video on the rough-in process. Anyway, hope you found this useful. Thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.